Welcome in, welcome in, welcome back. I am JL Garofalo. Welcome back to Creator CTO. All right, today we're continuing our journey, our AI journey to build the ultimate content creation system. Use AI to do all of the hard work when it comes to AI. When it comes to content creation. I think a good main goal for this, or end goal, North Star to look at is uh, really I want to be able to, at the beginning of a week, say, hey, here's all the content I'm going to make this week, or I need to make the content for this week. here's all the brands I'm going to make content for this week. And ideally, by the end of this series, we have an entire AI assisted workflow. We started that by slowly building up to that, just one by one, adding content creation related skills, working with Claude to create these AI skills that are related to content creation, so that we can start to piece them together and start to automate some of that larger process. But we're really just starting as small as we can here, trying to automate some different skills just in our normal everyday workflow, seeing what AI can do. Things are changing with AI every single day. Anthropic's putting out new features. OpenAI is putting out new features. People are making new companies. It's chaos out here. So really the goal of this content, this live stream, is to learn together, learn these AI skills together. You guys can watch me ask the same questions you might be asking yourself, or I encourage you to ask questions in the chat so that we could talk about this different stuff, because really there's nobody out there who is fully got this under control, right? Like everybody's kind of learning how to apply this to their own workflow. And you might have different ideas that we haven't thought of yet. So please share them. I'm definitely curious to hear more about everyone's thoughts on AI, the questions you have, what you're trying to use it for. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm trying to use it for. Let me pull this up here. So if you've joined us for the previous live streams, any of the previous live streams, you might recognize some of these skills that we made. Why can't I find it? Where are you? Here you are. That's not it. Claude, our best buddy Claude. And I see Frank in the chat. Welcome in, chat. Welcome in, Frank. He said, imagine if Simon showed up to this show. I offered it to him. He woke up. I had a morning live stream, Front Yard Fantasy live stream, and my co-host, best friend Simon, just didn't show up. He didn't show up, so I had to do it alone. But I wasn't alone because I had Frank with me. But yeah, Simon, and then he woke up like right after the stream, and I was giving him shit for it, texting him about it. And I'm like, well, you could join me on the Creator CTO live stream, or we can go live again later this afternoon if you want on FYF. It's whatever you want, buddy. But he's traveling, so that's why he missed it. So unrelated to AI, Simon's got nothing to do with AI, Frank. That's all right. So these are the skills that we were building up over the previous live streams. You might have joined us for these. A few of them, not all of them, are from this live stream. Some of them are built in, some of them I've added here. But the last live stream, on Monday, we explored Claude Design. Last week, when we left off this skills series, we created this channel brand skill, which let us give Claude all of the brand information related to the brands and channels that we're creating under, which is crucial context for pretty much most operations when it comes to content creation, right? You got to like put it through the lens of what brand is this for? Who the heck are you even making this for? Because it's going to change all the decisions that you make for whatever it is you're creating. If I'm making a video, if I'm making a product, whatever it is, it has to start with the person that you're designing it for. And that's going to help. This skill here gives AI the context it needs to be able to do that. We got a setup live stream skill, which we give it a rough idea for what we're going to do in a live stream, and it'll go ahead and work on the 3 artifacts that you really need to set up a live stream, which is same with a video, which is title, description, and thumbnail. And it uses some of these other skills, like this YouTube title optimizer skill, which does what it says, optimizes it gives you options, works with you to come up with a YouTube title, suggest a YouTube title that you can then put into your video, put into your YouTube. We got a clip finder, lets us put in a transcript of a video or a live stream, and it'll go find the most shareable clips in there. I've been using this a little bit on the live streams that we do, the Front Yard Fantasy ones, as well as this one, to try to find individual clips that I can cut out of here. And it's mostly useful. I'd say I did load this clip finder up into ChatGPT, and the results I got was better. Take that for what it's worth. Maybe we need to do a live stream where we do like side by side type of thing, and we load all these skills up for both Claude and OpenAI, because these models, they're changing. It's like the ground's shifting underneath us, right? The quality of these models changes every day. They change the models themselves, Opus 4.6 to Opus 4.7. People are complaining that Opus 4.7 is not as good as Opus 4.6. So we can't assume that once we create the skill, the quality is always going to be the same coming out of the skill. So we got to pay attention to that as we're building up and using this stuff, and trying out some different models to see if maybe one is better for the specific task, the specific skill that we need carried out than the other one. Claude, I found, is excellent at code stuff, but for a lot of the content creation, branding, more higher level stuff, Claude doesn't do as well. I find ChatGPT does better for a lot of the YouTube stuff where it's like, take into account you're trying to connect to a human here. Claude's got the tech skills, and we've used this skill creator. We didn't make this. This is built into Claude. You could use this yourself. You just come down here, hit plus on the skills thing, and then you go to create with Claude, and that'll take us to a new conversation with Claude where it uses this skill creator skill to create new skills. So we'll likely use that today as we're trying to automate the next part of our content creation workflow here. We have also been building up this list of different ideas. It's not right. How do you get that to go? Yeah. This list of ideas of things that we could turn into skills, because part of this is just trying to identify the areas where you could automate things, where you could put into skills, and then figuring out how do you break this up so that you can, get the most out of the AI as you're going through it. A couple of these are kind of similar ideas, right? They're like, turn this rough idea into something more refined, and that it just changes by like a little bit each time, where it's like, turn this rough idea into an outline for a live stream, or an outline for a pre-recorded video, or for a product idea. A lot of stuff translates over to product, and we'll get into automating some of the product workflow as well. If you're interested in the product part of this stuff, what was I saying? So ideas, these are the different ones we have: refining a rough content idea into a brand aligned content idea, pressure testing whether an idea is actually interesting enough to publish, thinking of new ideas for videos, creator voice brand style transformer. That could be a good one. We have the channels brand skill that we were just talking about. So it could just load that up and then take some text, and we just give it the brand, and we tell it, maybe we go make sure that channel brands is capturing what the voice of the brand is. And then from there, that should just be plug and play. Say, hey, well, I'm going to give you a block of text and rewrite this in the brand's voice, following the brand's voice rules. So that's probably a good one. I'm going to put that one up as like the most likely next one that we do. But let's keep going through this and thinking of some in case, a more exciting one pops up. Some of the stuff too, like I found, just follow whatever excites you around it. Like if you're thinking about different use cases, and like some of these sound boring versus ones like, oh dang, if I had that would be fire. Then I encourage you to go explore that. Like, do I have it? Yeah, generating a thumbnail for YouTube. This is one that I have put aside because I just haven't had the time to really scope how I'm going to do it. But it's one in which I know is going to be game changing for me, because of how long thumbnails freaking take. They take forever. I'm a designer. I'm a designer in that I'm a generalist, and I've been in web design and web development for many years now. But I'm not a designer in that's my base level skill set. And so it takes longer for me to do it. I'm just not as quick with it as other designer or professional designers. So that's one, and it's harder because it's visual, right? You got to create a visual artifact versus just give me back text, give me, classify this stuff. So it's a little bit more challenging of a skill to create, but I'm pretty sure we could do it now. And I think that could be useful for it. And I know that will be useful for us, but I don't have the idea yet there today. So that's one we'll put on the back burner, so we don't end up, because it might not be able to do that as easily as I think. So I'll work through it a little bit beforehand, and then we can work through it together on live stream if you want. Pressure testing whether an idea is actually interesting enough to publish. Thinking of new ideas for videos. What's another one? Do I have research? Yeah, research. Creating a research audience pain mining skill. Skill to watch videos is one I saw somebody create, and I've been interested to make that one, you can essentially give it a URL or give it a video file or an audio file, and the skill will transcribe the video, and it will also analyze the frames of the video as additional context using some different command line tools, CLI. They're called CLI tools that we give the AI agent access to, and then it can watch, download the video, and then do something with it. So that's one I think could be good. That could essentially skip a step in our process. If you were watching while we were doing what was the one we did? The clip finder. Part of the step of that process is I have to download the hour-long live stream. I have to open up the script here, which you don't have to use the script for this, but like it's just what is the quickest way to do it for me, which I already had an account for this. And so, you can come in here to get this transcript of the video. And then from here, once you have the transcript file, which is just all this text, you can give that to the AI. We give that to the AI bot and invoke the clip finder skill, and it finds those clips just using the transcript. So the reason I bring that up is now we could, if we had this other watch video skill, then what we could do is have it, instead of just taking the transcript, we could just give it the video or maybe the URL, and then it could figure out the transcript and it could watch the video. So let's try that one. I'm like hyped about this now. All right, so we'll come back here. If you haven't messed with this before, this is Claude desktop app here. All right, I can close some of this down so it's not as distracting. Okay. So this is the Claude desktop app. If you have never seen this before, it has 3 tabs up here: Claude, Cowork, Chat, Code. You come over here to Customize. Customize takes you to this menu and then you go to Skills, and here's all of our skills. So that's how you get there. Like I said, you could use a skill creator skill, which is what we're going to do. We're going to say create a skill. Create with Claude. Write skill instructions are uploaded. We're going to create with Claude. Let's create a skill together. Come on, Claude. Let's create a skill. Yeah, I'm not going to be nice to this guy. Use your skill creator skill to make me magic. First, ask me what the skill should do. I don't want to do that. Use your creator skill to create a new skill for me that, when provided with a video or a URL to a video, it downloads the video, transcribes the video, and analyzes the video context frame by frame using a CLI tool. I got to look up I forget the name of the CLI tool. It's I kept trying to find video frame analysis CLI tool. It's like a bunch of letters. YM something. Should have looked this up before. I tried to look this up before. I tried to go back and find that video, but every time I went to YouTube, I got distracted by a different video. It's a real problem. I was getting nothing done. I had to get out of there. I had to get back to my work. Okay. Oh, wait, this looks like maybe this person did this. My video is harder, not because LLMs cannot process frames. They can be, but because the naive approach fails in practice. Okay, so this is saying don't send it all the frames. That's going to be a lot of data, which makes sense. We probably don't need to send it. This is all way too deep. I just want to know what the name of that thing was. Yeah, this is too deep. I'm going to have to ask the bot. Open source. Does anybody even Google search anymore? Very good at jazz. I tell Claude to figure it out, right? Video to keyframes. Sharp frame is active video stuff. I swear it was just a bunch of letters. Let's ask. Okay. All right, bot. What's the open source video frame analysis library that is like 5 letters? That is like 5 letters. Wow, this is an expert prompt. That is I wish I remember the name of this. What's the name of open source video analysis project that starts like YMT something? All right, well, we might just have to have it figure it out then. Like I'm not even going to give it a library. I'm going to let it come up with a library. YOLO, you only look once. That's definitely not YOLO. I would have remembered YOLO, you idiot. Okay. I'm going to go find it later. And I'm going to be like, see? Maybe video to keyframes could work. Let's let it suggest some different tools for us and see if we can figure it out. We don't have to do this on our own. We have Claude now. We're using an open source CLI tool. Downloads the video, transcribes the video, and analyzes the video context frame by frame using an open source CLI. And we only want to download it if applicable, which is like if you give it a URL, if we give it a video file, we don't want it to re-download it or anything. It has access to it then. So, all right, yeah. Let's rip that, and it's going to ask us some follow-up questions. We might have to use a service for the transcription part. I don't know if there's a good open source model for or tool or library for that. I don't think it's expensive to use a service for it though. They're usually not too bad. By the way, if you got questions in the chat, anything about AI or you're building something or you can't figure something out, share it with us. We're very curious. We love AI stuff and tech stuff. And if you haven't already, make sure you check out my new YouTube channel, Creator CTO. I just started it. It's brand new. It's what we're streaming on right now. It's where I'm going to put all my content related to tech, AI, building products for your audience, that type of stuff. So if that is interesting to you, then check it out. Let's see what he came up with. Still coming up with stuff. Oh, he's loading up the skill creator skill. So one of the main benefits that you get with skill is this concept called progressive disclosure, which is a very fancy way of saying that you can use skills to be efficient with your token spend. Every time you ask Claude for something, you're using tokens. And eventually, you're going to have to factor that token spend into your economics for your business, your product, whatever it is. And why was I bringing that up? Oh, yeah. So skills, instead of having to prompt Claude how to do something every time, which is going to use a bunch of tokens to send it all that data, and then it's going to use a bunch of tokens to tell it or to have it figure out how to use that data. Instead, what a skill does is it like packages that all up and gives us a structure in which Claude or whatever AI agent harness you're using can only loads the metadata for each of the skills so that it knows what each skill does, but it doesn't load up all the extra stuff, all of the instructions on how to do it until it believes that it's time to use it. So that's called progressive disclosure. It just means that we don't have to give all the data to Claude. We don't have to spend, dude, brother, YT. Didn't I say it? Come on now. Come on now. I knew that. Why couldn't it figure that out? I even got the letters right. Or maybe I did YMT. I can't remember. Okay, Whisper is the one I was thinking that we could use for transcription. Okay, so this is just the downloading. It's not the analysis. Maybe that's why. FFmpeg MPEG is a very, very popular computer vision library. It's just like if you want to work with images code-wise, you're typically using this. And then Llama is open source. It's like Facebook's version, their open source model for running a bot, AI bot. So you can think of that as similar to ChatGPT or Claude. It's just open source, so you don't have to pay, and you host it, so it's on your device. YT, come on, bro. We said that. So what will be interesting to see is how it decides to send the frames to the AI services. And I'm going to dig into that. And if it just tries to brush us over that, because that might impact, the amount it costs, the amount of quality we're getting. Okay, we got here video analyzer skill. Download if a URL, transcribe visually, analyze a video frame by frame. Let me get slow over here. Whoa, buddy. Whoa, buddy. Get out of my face. God, why is it so thin? Okay. Hopefully you can see that. Come on, move. All right, close enough. All right, download if a URL, transcribe, visually analyze a video frame by frame using open source CLI tools. Use this skill whenever the user provides a video file or a URL to a video and wants the audio transcribed and the frames described, the video summarized, or any combination. Trigger on phrasings like analyze this video, transcribe this YouTube link, describe what's happening in this video, summarize this clip, what's in this video, blah. Trigger even when the user only mentions one of the steps, just transcribe or just describe frames. This skill handles partial pipelines too. Video analyzer, download, describe, and visually describe. Download, transcribe, and visually describe videos using open source CLI tools. I don't know that we want it to just is that the best use of the analysis part of this here? Describe, what am I getting out of that? I like the transcription immediately valuable, right? I could just get a transcription right off the bat of any video. Cool. That alone is a valuable step. Now, what is the second, what do we use these frames for exactly? Part of it is we want to help it understand what's going on the screen at the time of the transcription. If you're just giving it text, transcription text of a video like this, welcome into Creator CTO. All right, today we're going to, it's just text, right? Which is just a transcription file. It's just this exported into text file format. So the bot only has, if we're only giving a transcription, it just has words to go off of. It just has our words. That's it. And from that, it can mostly figure a lot of stuff out. We saw that with the clip finder skill, but there might be a visual aspect of it for the clip finder specifically, right? There's physical comedy, there's body language that goes into something, whether it's better shareable or less shareable, more shareable. The physical comedy aspect. There's times like where I'm on a live stream with somebody and I'm reacting to what they're saying. I'm not saying anything. I'm just reacting. And like, that's part of the experience. So we don't necessarily, like, I don't need it to visually describe, but I do want it to factor that information into its analysis. So maybe we update it with that and we nudge it that direction. So let's just keep reading to see if this lines up with how we're thinking about it. Pipeline, acquire input URL, download it using this library that we all knew. Transcribe, extract the audio with FFmpeg, run Whisper for a timestamped transcript. The timestamped transcript is what we can then use or have the bot use. We don't do work here anymore. Remember, it's AI time. We don't do work no more. AI does the work. We just tell it. I thought this was a type of Java. I like that. Oh, Java. So they have a vision model. I think the other, if you use Anthropic or OpenAI's API, they also have vision models you can query and get images back, or send images to it and have it analyze it. And then write a report, interleaving transcript and frame descriptions on a shared timeline. I feel like the frame by frame stuff is like, maybe we need to split this up into transcription and then the frame by frame stuff, because I'm just thinking, like, I don't know that we need to frame by frame every single time. Transcription alone is useful. And then from there, using the transcription and the frames, then we might want to do a third step that could be analyze or describe this to me, but it could be something different. Like, imagine like a more research type task that we're trying to do. Like, for instance, extract all the info from this YouTube video. It's like an interview with other people. It's not me. And I want to get the info out of it. Then I could transcribe that, have it use the frames to try to understand what's going on there, and then give me a report back of what they're saying in there. That's more useful. But in the clip finder, what we are passing that context of frames to it for is different. And so hopefully it's starting to maybe become clear what I'm rambling about here is that we might actually want to structure this a little bit differently so that it gives us the ability to do more with it for our different use cases here. I'm talking out loud a little bit in the sense of like thinking through this so that you can see my thought process. You can, and also, so because we're figuring this out in real time, like how this will be useful. And for a lot of this stuff, this new stuff, it doesn't often happen in the way where like you planned it out and then you use it exactly how you plan it. Often it's like, okay, you start with an idea, you try it, you see if you use it, you see how you use it, and then you change how based off of that. And so we're going to do that here and see if this is actually useful. If not, we'll just move it, transform it, or change it. If any tool is missing, the bundle script reports the exact install command. It's boring. It's going to run a Python script, so it has code. This is like it's a little bit of code that's going to run, which is powerful. Not code's powerful, but just it's powerful that these skills can, like, that's how they run. They run these like little bits of code that you can then just tie together without needing to be specific in another piece of code. Instead, you can just be very vague with an AI bot and have it then do these little individual things that are code, which is cool. It's cool to me. Script writes video MP4 only when downloaded, transcript JSON and transcript.txt file, timestamp segments, and then one image per sampled frame. This is where we'll give it some feedback and say, hey, maybe we don't need all the frames. We don't want to unnecessarily hit the AI API. Just we want to be thoughtful with how we're passing the context. And then a report, a human readable aligned summary. Choosing parameters, the defaults are tuned to run on a laptop. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Talking head, lecture, higher frame interval, 15, 30 seconds, visuals barely change. So it already is taking this into account somewhat, and it's giving us a frame interval parameter on the scale that lets us choose, depending on what type of video it is, how frequently we want it to sample the frames from the video and pass that which is going to be useful. And it gives us this little rule set here too, which is kind of cool. We can start to set our own default preset type things where it's like, all right, for all the Front Yard Fantasy live streams, I know they're going to be 30 minutes to an hour. I know who's going to be on there. I know the type of things we're looking for. And so I might be able to give it exactly the right parameters I need for that specific use case, which is cool. You can even choose which model we choose for these different sections, like the Whisper model, which could matter depending on the type of video we're doing, the audio quality and all that. And then this is the part that we might change. After the script finishes, present a short prose summary. Synthesize the videos about from the transcript and frame descriptions. Don't dump raw JSON. 3 to 8 timeline highlights with timestamps, the moments that matter. This is where, yeah, I think we just pull this back a little bit. This is it's stepping on the toes of our clip finder. That's what our clip finder does, man. And what we're going to ultimately do too, just to pull back a little bit from this, is that ultimately, like if you remember from previous stream, we're building out a ecosystem here, or not an ecosystem. It's multiple skills, and we're going to add in agents that use these skills, multiple agents, ultimately to facilitate this content creation workflow that I described in the beginning of the stream, where we could just at the beginning of the week say, hey, here's my live streams, or here's when I expect to live stream this week. Come up with, do everything that I need to do, but give me the decisions I need to make creatively, and then you go do the grunt work. That's what we're building up to. That's where we're starting down here. And we're still a little bit down here, but that's what we're building up to. So this one, we could probably cut the scope down, have it be a little bit more focused. Pointers to the artifact files, report transcripts so the user can dig in themselves. That's pretty useful. Have some like different reasoning and stuff, like links to the video, so that we can decide whether it's actually doing it right. It'll give us a little trail to follow if it's not right. Frame descriptions are often hundreds of lines. Don't paste them in unless, yeah. Download blocked, which could happen. No audio track, vision model not pulled. Oh yeah, Oyama not running. Very long video. Warn the user about time and disuse before starting. It's just framing over 50. When the user gives just the video and no instruction, okay. So we're telling it how to handle when we're being vague here. Let's go ahead and give it that feedback so that it can modify this skill. Okay. Modify the skill based off the following feedback. I never know if Shift Enter is going to actually just send the message. Modify the scale based on the following feedback. Let's see. We likely don't need a high frame interval for most videos. The frame by frame analysis is intended to add a richer context sorry about that. Intended to add a richer context. Frame by frame analysis is intended to add a richer context. It's intended to provide a more rich context to the AI agent to complete their task. And the other thing we want to do is the task that we want the AI agent to complete per video may change. For instance, on one video, I may want you to research, not the right word, is to analyze and extract key insights and takeaways. In another instance, I may want you to use the clip finder skill to find clips that are shareable from the video. Modify the skills so that either we pass the task that we want completed in as a parameter. Not the skills, just the one skill. With a default. Modify the skill so that we either pass the task that we want completed in as a parameter. And then I'm thinking like maybe it just transcribes, transcribes, and then it doesn't even like analyze for the first pass unless we say analyze and describe this, because that lets us use this as a transcription tool, a transcription skill basically, with an add-on, like plus add in anything. My skill so that we either pass the task that we want completed in as a parameter, or the skill stops after minimal after transcription and minimal presentation. What was the other thing that we wanted to do? Clip finder skill, find clips, short prose summary. I mean, we could just have it do the summary every time. The default, with the default being a short summary, short prose summary. Short prose summary, okay. Was there anything else that we wanted to change here? Olama. No, Python, FF probe. That's cool. All right, so then we'd get the transcription. So I guess the other thing would be like, how do we what do we want to specify a task? Let's let it come up with that. Frank in the chat, what's a Google? Dude, I barely use Google for, I only use Google for like when I don't exactly know a URL, but I know the brand, or I know where I'm generally trying to go. It's like a question, I don't use Google at all anymore. It's nice being able to like instantly answer any of those random curiosity questions you got randomly throughout the day. It's like, what is this? Where do flies sleep? Where do squirrels sleep? That's most of my conversations with the bot, is where do different animals sleep? They never tell you. They just tell you where they hang out. They never tell you where they snooze. You never just happen upon a field of sleeping flies, sleeping squirrels. It's one of life's great mysteries. But now that we have AI, not anymore. All right, good feedback. Let me think through the changes. Frame interval, currently 5 seconds default, lowering to be denser by default, but auto-tuning by video length. So an hour-long video doesn't try to analyze 1,800 frames. Short clips get dense cut. Oh, I remember what I wanted to give it context around was that we really don't need the frame-by-frame analysis too heavy. It's mostly to add context. Like, I don't think it's going to be able to extract that much more from the video, but things like graphics are definitely useful, right? Like if someone's pointing to a graphic, they're presenting something, they're showing something, right? If we're passing this very live stream into this thing, then it would, I wouldn't be able to see any of the stuff that we're doing. All right, and then the second thing was variable task, cleanest split. The script stays focused on gathering data, transcript plus frames. The skill tells Claude that this task is whatever the user asked for, plus with the short prose summary as the default. Yeah. All right, cool. So yeah, we're keeping that scope a little bit tighter. That way we can chain these things together. You don't have to have them stepping on each other's toes. There's not like overlap. Like, oh, when do I use the clip finder or when do I use uh, the live stream summarizer? Like, there we could just have the live stream summarizer, use the clip finder skill, and then that lets us have one spot to iterate on that prompt. Because what I haven't really shown in these live streams is iterating on and improving on the prompts, which is a big part of this prompt engineering process. Is not just going based off of what Claude comes up with at the start, but taking that and then tweaking it to be specific to your workflow and your tastes is where you're going to really get the extra gains on top of this. Now add frame interval parser. Dude, I love that you write code, Claude. It is the sexiest thing ever. I would never have been able to write some of the code that I now have thanks to Claude. I just would have been too bored. Like, I just would not have had the attention span to sit there and be like, yep, optimize this for performance. Like make this so performant. But now you can. Let me tighten it while keeping the trigger coverage. All right, updated 2 changes. Frame interval is now auto by default, scaled by duration. Okay, so based off the duration of the video, we're going to have it change how many frames it's taking. That lets us put a little upside cap on the number of frames that we're loading up per video. The more, remember, when you're given anytime you're interacting with one of these chatbots, your goal is to give it exactly the context that it needs to give you the highest quality output and no more context, and just exactly the right amount. It's like this game. You have to get, okay, this is exactly what you need to know, and no extra, because the extra stuff is fine. A lot of times it can figure out that it's smart enough to do that, but it's more likely to lead it astray. All this, if you give it extra info or you're being less clear, you're giving it the opportunity to fill in that lack of clearness with its own whatever. And sometimes that stuff isn't what you want. Short clips get dense visual context. Long form stays tractable. Cool. Override with frame interval gives us the control if we want to change it. Task is decoupled from the script. The script's only job is to produce grounded artifacts, the transcript and the frame descriptions. The skill MD now has a task layer section telling Claude default no task specified, short pro summary plus pointer artifacts, task specified, use artifacts to do that task for no patterns like find shareable clips, title suggestions, chain into matching skill. Clip finder YouTube, yeah, sweet. Don't run the pipeline for different tasks on the same video. Read the existing artifacts. Don't run the pipeline for different tasks on the same video. This way, one pipeline runs for it. Cool. Let's try this bad boy out. Can we, if I say that, save skill. These are 2 skills. Video analyzer. What is this then? Did it tell us? This is the code. This is the skill. There's the code also. Analyze video, PY. Analyze video, PY. And this is analyze video, PY. Yep. And so what is this? Skill MD. Download transcript. All right, that's the skill. This is the entire package. Skill MD and okay, now we got there. All right, so this is the folder. This is the first file in the folder. This is the other file also in the subfolder. Okay, so we want to download this top one here. Save skill. Do we need? Let me ask this: do we need to set up an API service for this to work? Yeah, buddy, that's what I like. YT Dillop. Llama. One time set. That's the one thing that looks API URL. Okay. No signs. After that, fully online. Do I need to run that setup prior to running the skill, or will Claude run the setup when I run the skill? Answer that, Claude. You need to run the setup yourself beforehand. Claude won't auto install these for you. Fuck you, Claude. 2 reasons: the skill's pre-flight check fails fast. When you trigger the skill, the script first checks if those things are downloaded. If not, it's going to bail out. Okay. These installs need your permission anyway. Okay. Lame, but fine. You're going to have to do this yourself if you want to use something like this. If you're following along, you're creating something like this. It's okay. So you just go open up a terminal or something. Like I said, like I've mentioned in previous live streams, terminals aren't scary. It's like under the hood of your computer. Is before they had all this fancy painting stuff, all this fancy, beautiful boxes and stuff, all we had was text. And so you can do pretty much anything via text, via the terminal, which we'll do now. We're just going to download these real quick. Should already have FFmpeg, but we'll see. Okay, downloaded those first ones. Let's get FFmpeg. I might have Llama. No, not what I wanted. No, not the pinwheel. The pinwheel. All right, downloading FFmpeg. All right, that worked. Okay, no command. Llama. Download plus install from Llama. I thought I had it here. I thought I already had Llama. Easy. Come back to you. So it says copy paste this in your terminal. Just make sure you trust the website. Come on, bro. All right, so we downloaded. Yeah, we installed Oyama. Is the O silent? Is it just Yama? Llama? Why are there 2 L's in Llama? See, this is why we got the bots. Where do squirrels sleep, and why does Llama have 2 L's? Where do squirrels sleep? Tree squirrels sleep in drays, leafy round nests built high in tree branches, tree cavities, holes in trees, which are warmer and safer, especially in winter. Ground squirrels, underground burrows. Oh my God! That's terrifying. Flying, you're just digging in the dirt, looking for worms, and you find a squirrel. Flying squirrels sleep in tree cavities, nest boxes, sheltered holes, and airports. Interesting. Why is llama spelled with 2 L's? Because llama came to English from Spanish. And of course, we know Spanish. They love the 2 L's. The double L. Oh, that's so fun. I like that we kept the double L pronunciation. It's like, actually, for this one, it's just going to stay the same. The 2 L's work the same. Even it's still English. All right, so now we got those downloaded. We followed Claude's instructions, his demands. We met his demands. One caveat worth flagging: Oyama needs to be running when you use a skill, either the desktop app open or Oyama serve running in the terminal. If it's not, the script will tell you. So that's kind of an annoying extra step you got to have going. But we'll appease the bots for now. But in the future, what? All right. So what it's saying is that I already have a service on my computer using the same port that Oyama's trying to use. So let's let's just ask it. Oyama. I'm getting a port issue. Tell me what to do, Claude. So it is already running. So I do already have it, idiot. Okay, it's saying you could check it out. Let's see. Name Java latest. Okay, so it's already running. I don't know why. I mean, I don't think I had that downloaded before. Maybe I did. Whatever. That's fine. So now we don't have to do that extra step. Cool. Happy about that. We're happy about that. Okay, so now I want to try it out. Okay, let's try the skill. Let's test the skill. What do we call it? Video analyzer. Skill video analyzer. And let's give it, I'll give it a downloaded live stream. It's going to be a lot. That's going to be a lot. Yeah, that's fine. No, that's not it. 1 hour, 17 minutes, I guess. Fantasy football show. 42 minutes. Okay, let's do this one. It better have added it after we went through all that effort to pick it. Open. Oh, okay. You may not upload files larger than 500 megabytes. Why didn't you tell this when we were starting, bro? 500 megabytes. Come on. Oh, that's not going to work for this one. Okay. Don't look at my thumbnails. Let me find the smaller video. Come on, Claude. Quit putting up problems. Movies. Where did I put it? Okay, here we go. Oh, no, that's 640 megabytes. That's just out of our range. Yeah. Come on. Oh, maybe my interview? Nope, that's huge. Nope, that's huge. No, it's 500. Oh, wait. Okay, I got one. 270 megabytes, 18 minutes. It's my interview with Jack Settleman. This will work. Let's do that one. Yeah. Frank, a tree squirrel sleep in trees, Jam. Who would have thought, man? Who would have thought? I just never see him up there, I'm provided video file. That's not a live stream anymore, video file. So you can change which model you want to use here. We're just going to use the expensive one. It's that kind of day. We got to wait until this finishes uploading. Now, might be something where instead of using the app where there seems to be a limit on the 500 megabyte upload size, we could explore passing this via the API, the Claude API, which would maybe get us around this file upload limit. Maybe not, but if we could run that locally and then it'd be sweet if we could run the skill locally. Because really, it's just Python code, right? So why do we need to even round trip this to the bot? I don't know. We'll see. It is now uploaded. Let's see what it does. Do something cool, Claude. Check which stills are available in the sandbox. So that's another thing is we'll see this, I don't know what this no module whisper. Okay. Right, baby bicycle, Claude. 3 wheels, Claude. I asked for a tricycle, Claude. Call me boss. How many times do I have to tell you? Claude. There's a wrinkle here. There's skills designed to run on your machine where you have Oyama running. This Claude sandbox is a different environment, and it can't easily have everything the skill needs. Okay, so that's good to know. Run it locally, recommended. This is what the skill was built for, on your machine where Oyama is running. Okay, this is basically what I was saying is like, why do we even need to send it to the bot if we can just run the Python locally? Whisper based on CPU takes 3 to 5 minutes for 18 minutes of audio. Yeah, on CPU takes 5 to 8 seconds a frame. So we'll be here a while. Okay, so option 2 is it's saying it can fill in essentially because it already extracted the frames in the sandbox, whatever sandbox this Claude instance is running in on Claude servers, because it's on my desktop app, but I'm interacting with Claude servers here. I extract the frame, and so it's extracted the frames in the sandbox here, and it can show us what it will look like. Otherwise, we're going to have to download this and run it ourselves, which like I'm a little bit disappointed in here, and like, not that this isn't still useful. Like, I think this is probably the right way. We can maybe make like a CLI tool that makes this super easy, but I don't want to have to run all this. I'll pull if not already pulled. So maybe maybe I could just make a shortcut that does this, but let's just have it. We'll have it do option 2 for now. Go with option 2 to show us what it will look like. Does this really make sense to be a skill if it can't be run without explicitly invoking or running the Python script? Like, I feel like Claude is responsible. Like, Claude needs to give us some clarity here, because we went into this thinking we could just rip skills, add them in, and that Claude could run the skill, and now run that skill. And now it's telling us, oh, I can't do this. I can't do what I said I was going to do, but you could do it on your own machine, which is like, cool, that's sweet. But like, I kind of wanted you to do it, So we'll tell it go with option 2, but give us that sauce. Show us what's up. I went to option 2. Whoops. Terminals are in the computer. Owen Wilson. I gotta work on my Owen Wilson impersonation. I feel like that's a celebrity he's like reachable impersonation wise. He's got enough distinct ways that he says stuff. It's recognizable. Whisper. So we can click into this and see Claude's reasoning here, like what it's actually thinking as it's trying to solve our problem. Sometimes it's useful to reveal where the bot is maybe misunderstanding and where we need to add additional context. Okay, good question and worth answering. Honestly, don't tell me good question. You don't know good questions. I know good questions. Short answer, yes, but with a caveat. Bundled scripts are a normal skill pattern. Skills all work the same way. SkillMD tells Claude when and how. A Python script does the heavy lifting. Claude executes it via bash. The AI part isn't the script running. It's Claude deciding to invoke this pipeline at all. So it's the decision to invoke it rather than us having to go to our terminal every time that we know, okay, I know I need to get a transcript from this thing. Instead, we can ask Claude, give me this quick, set up live stream, click live stream and have this done automatically. But the problem is that Claude can't run this. And if Claude can't run this, then Claude is only good for telling us to run it. And then it's an okay process, but it's not, maybe it's still better. It gives us some time saving of doing it if we had to do it manually, but it's still not as good as it doing it automatically. So let's see what it has to say for itself. It's Claude deciding to invoke the pipeline at all, tuning parameters to the input, and reading the artifacts and doing the actual user task with them. That's all real intelligence work. Real caveat, which is what you're feeling. This particular skill leans on Olama, which lives outside any Claude sandbox. So it's a specific tool that's screwing us right now. This isn't really a skill problem, but it means the skill is realistically a Claude Code / local execution skill. Because of what it needs to do, it can't do that. We've bumped up against some limitation of Claude's now. We didn't think that Claude had any more limitations. We thought that Claude was a genius guy. This was basically Einstein's ghost, but apparently it can't do this. Not a Claude AI sandbox skill. If you want it to work natively here too, the cleanest fix is swap the Olama Java frame description step for Claude's own vision. Same artifacts, no local model runs anywhere. Happy. So basically what it's saying here is like we can change the skill to work to where it uses Claude's vision capability and swaps that in for the tool here that we need it to use, and unfortunately requires us to run that command locally. I don't want it to default to send it to Claude. I'd rather default, just keep it local and then maybe send to Claude with an option. So I'm going to tell it that. Let's change the skills slightly to allow the user to approve of using Claude's own vision model instead of the Olama element. Sometimes you halfway through prompt, you forget. And you just gotta pinch that bad boy off somewhere and reevaluate where you're going instead of the Olama, instead of using Claude's own vision model instead of the Olama component. That allows the skill to work more robustly. The skill to work that allows the skill to work locally by default, with extensibility to outsource to a third-party provider, such as Claude's vision model or OpenAI's vision model. Yeah, buddy. Oh, it's still talking? Are you serious? What are you still talking about? Oh, it's coming up with an example for us. See, it's breaking down the visual components it's seeing, right? Person in a black shirt, living room setting, names Jack Settlestein, J.L. Garofalo. Appears to be a webcam recording from one of them, a straightforward talking head format. And so you can see already, this is the exact data that we're getting because we're doing this vision step. that we would not get if we were just passing in the transcript. Right? We're adding an additional element of context here to try to get better output, better give the bot better understanding of our task and the artifact that we're working on. That's worth it's worth understanding that process, that step in this flow, because I think most people messing with AI are going to likely start with the first case, like the most obvious case, but you can make it even more valuable to yourself. All 18 frames. So that's pretty solid. It's like an 18-minute video. So like 1 frame per minute, I guess. And then when we saw that we could tweak that with the parameters, we could say, hey, actually do it every 2 seconds. Depending on the video, depending on how much the visuals are changing. We could even maybe make this later on where we extend it to like pull frames, like indicate which parts it should pull more frames from. Maybe we could have it be dynamic where it's like, don't pull frames if we're not doing anything. But if it's like a high quality moment or a moment where there is something visual on the screen, like pull more frames from it. That's all down the road. We don't have to worry about that now. We're just trying to get one useful case out of this. But I'm just trying to explain where you could take this. All right, Skill genuinely works better as a Claude data skill than an Oyama wrapper. Your instinct was right. Watching this run, 3 things stood out. I was already going to view frames anyway to do the actual task. Running Oyama would have duplicate vision pass. I didn't say that. Claude's vision is meaningfully better at frame description than Java. Richer detail, better at picking up emotional gesture nuance. Know who is, but it costs money. It's the difference between a skill that runs natively on Claude AI and one that requires you to be on a machine with Oyama models pulled, Damon running. So, I mean, the fact that we can run it on Claude is pretty nice. That's pretty sweet and would likely be easier for us, but it does limit us in the sense that we are then stuck to Claude. But maybe we could tell, like I'm about to do here, tell it to, hey, make the skill so that it's not focused on Claude. Like it doesn't only work with Claude. Make it so that it works with Claude by default, and then lets me plug in a different model provider as I go. So the talking head guidance skill MV is correct, but not enforced. Autotune would have picked 5 seconds for an 18-minute video, 260 nearly identical frames. The skill tells the agent to bump intervals for talking head content, but doesn't detect it automatically. A V2 design could sample 3 to 5 preview frames first, ask, is this visually static, and adjust before the main pass. Bro, the bot and I are on the same page here. This is exactly what it's describing, exactly what I was just describing to you, is that we could take samples of, I didn't say the sample part, but we could take samples of the frames and try to dynamically determine how much we should pull from here. And if we know it's just two talking heads on a video, we're not moving that much. It's not much visual. It's like we're yapping to each other, and our heads are slightly moving, our mouths are moving. Okay, so this thing drop the Oyama dependency entirely. Have the script extract frames and then let Claude read frames directly via the view tool. No separate describe each frame pass at all. Frame descriptions become an artifact of doing the task, not a pre-computer. Add a visual similarity pre-flight to auto bump the interval on static videos. All right, I'm cool with this. I'm cool with some of those changes. Change the scale slightly to allow the user to approve of using Claude's own vision model instead of the Oyama component. That allows the scale to work locally by default with extensibility to outsource the third party. So we'll change this part. That allows the scale to work locally by default. So, and we'll say on Claude AI sandbox with extensibility to perform that task locally using Oyama or something similar. And we want to say or something similar or another third-party provider. And then we'll say such as OpenAI's vision model. That way, of course, you got to think about where with the bot, where this information is coming from. It's a bit biased. Claude wants you to use Claude. Claude's going to suggest you use Claude. Claude like Claude. Claude want you to like Claude. So that's fine for the purposes of this skill right now. And we're using Claude. We've been mainly using Claude rather than Claude go there. So let's have Claude do it so that we can actually use the skill without having to go into our terminal. But let's not pigeonhole ourselves. Like let's not tie ourselves to Claude. That might be a big mistake. We don't know where Claude's going. Let's not tie ourselves to Claude. Oh wait, and I want to change this part because we don't need them. We don't need the user. We could take this out here to allow the skill to work on Claude AI Sandbox by default. To use Claude's vision model so that it can work on Claude AI Sandbox by default with extensibility to perform that task locally using Oyama or something similar or another third-party provider such as OpenAI's vision model. Boom! All in a day's work for you, Claude. So this is an example of the report we'd get out of this. Generated frame interval 60 seconds. Whisper model skipped. Vision model, okay. Guy in his late 20s, early 30s with short target, lights double. So is that me you're describing? Mouth is open mid-speech. Right hand visible at the, oh my God. This is so embarrassing. It's either me or Jack. This is a two-person video. So it skipped the transcription step. And the transcription step, we might need to have something like identify speakers, like it might not know me versus Jack. And so that's something we can likely build this out as we go to get better info or data. It's an 18-minute single speaker webcam recording of a man in a black t-shirt sitting in his home living room. Maybe I gave him just like one side of this video. I didn't actually watch the video I sent to him. Is it? Oh my God, I did. This is just mine. So this is just my side of the video. This isn't Jack's side of the video. It's that freaking 270 at 500 megabyte constraint. Screwed us. It's fine. It's just a test, but we'll do another test on like using the actual skill with a real video. Should probably find that. Dude, all my videos are huge. This isn't it's not gonna work. Okay, here's a video. There's no audio of that. All right. I gotta come up with something. Dude, they're all big. I don't know what to do about this. It's fantasy football reactions. That would be kind of funny. All right, are you done yet? No, still working. No. Gigs on gigs. Come on, Cloud. Oh, okay, I maybe got one. It is a fantasy football reaction. Validate then package. All right. Okay. Done. Summary of changes. What change material default works in the Cloud sandbox now? Script extracts frames and styles. Claude views them on demand via the view tool. No daemon, no model download, no API key. Sweet. Save. Upload and replace. Okay, so there it goes. It told us we can run it. We can run it. Frame capped at 960 watts. The token cost stays same when Claude views them. Still detailed enough for any backend to read on screen text. So that's something we should just keep aware of. Is like how much token usage does the skill use? But let's go ahead and test it out. Add photo file, live, video. I really hope this is a video. I think it is. Okay, test it out. Test it out with the following video. I really hope this is an embarrassing video. What do we call it? Video analyze? Come on, be a fantasy football reaction, not me crying or something. It'd be hilarious. Oops. Short clip, 42 seconds at 10, auto. Okay. 42 seconds total, 1080p. Auto interval run 2 seconds, which will be around 21 frames. How do I install Whisper? Not worth it for the test. Okay. So that's interesting. That's something we can maybe have it dig into too eventually. Like, I don't care if it takes that much space. I'm not charged for space. I feel like it is worth it for a test. I disagree with that. Don't skip Whisper. See, without the transcript, it's like it's taken too much. Wiggins, number 6 jersey. That's wrong. I'm just going to stop it. Don't skip whisper. Transcription is essential to understanding a video. If there's a way to more efficiently load it into the sandbox, let's do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't skip it, even if a video is short. So it's going to use a different library. It's a little bit more lightweight. Again, I don't like the main downside to me would be the time it takes for the skill to run. Unless I'm charged token usage on memory somehow, which could be true. I don't know. Craig in the chat says, hi, Cloud. Hi, Craig. That's Cloud, not me. Good morning, Craig. Good afternoon, Craig. Now extract the audio. It's running into another constraint. So it's saying that there's another dependency for that faster library and that it needs to download the models from Hugging Face, which is just a website that where they have a lot of different models you can download. And that isn't allowed via the sandbox. So it's just a limitation or constraint that Anthropic has put in here for security and stuff like that. But it is limiting us here in what we're trying to do. You can fix this. System supports updating sandbox network settings. Adding Hugging Face to your allowed domains would let models download through. After that, passwords will work end to end roughly here. Okay, so 3 pass from here. Your call. Add Hugging Face to allowed domains and retry. Let's try that. Where do I do that? Add Hugging Face to the allowed domains. Are you able to do that, or do I need to? Greg says Hugging Face sounds like a very NSFW site. Yeah, it does. You're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. I'm not certain of the exact location, Claude AI. It should be near Claude execution feature settings. The settings exist. I don't know, guy. I don't know, Mr. Cloud. Claude code. I'm not seeing it. I mean, I guess browser use could be it. Chrome. Advanced settings. Tool access mode, artifacts, AI-powered artifacts, and visualization. Allow network egress. Domain allow list. Here we go. Hugging face.co. Okay. Let's see if that worked. Okay. I added it. Huggingface.co to the allow list. Try again. I added plugging face. Ooh, it's a good album. If you need music to listen to, go listen to my phone. I don't remember the name of the album. It's Panic at the Disco, a long time ago. Oh yeah, I dropped it. Here we go. Yeah, Fever You Can't Sweat Out. That's the name of the album. Classic. All right, check in if we can reach this. Welcome in, chat. Welcome in. If you haven't already, make sure you go check out my new YouTube channel, Creator CTO. What? Brand new. It's what we're live streaming on right now, right this very instant. Still blocked. Proxy returns deny reason. Host not allowed, even though through my system. Oh, okay. So our previous settings are attached to this combo. So we'd have to start a new combo. We'll say use video analyzer to on this video. Come on, Claude. You're supposed to be better than this. Running command. That's good. Yeah, buddy. That's looking good. Stalling whisper. This is the moment of truth. Come on, Claude. Install. So, okay, after all that, it's not using the freaking Hugging Face one? I'm going to kill you, Claude. You are a freaking idiot. You're going to use OpenAI Whisper after I forget you, fool. Taking a while, Claude. Claude is incapable of hugging, which is why I won't use that site. I think Claude might be capable of hugging pretty soon here, Craig. If what I've been reading about robotics is true, Claude's about to be in all of our living rooms real soon. It's going to be just like iRobot. Except no Will Smith. Oh, we have Will Smith. He's still here. I wonder if it's weird for him. I mean, he recorded that movie in, what, 2003 or something? Here he is living through it. I'll be here all day, chat. I'm going to kill you. You're going to tell. Brother, didn't we just go through this? Didn't we already go in this whole rigmarole? Oh, I guess this is a new chat, but still. You gotta go back and tell it. Allowed. Oh my God. Okay. No, don't continue. You failed. You failed, Claude. Come on, bro. I ran the skill in a new conversation. Nope. Fixing robots' dumb mistakes. I ran the skill in a new conversation and it tried to use OpenAI Whisper. Then it tried to use a different Whisper, and neither of them worked. Not hard enough. Okay, so OpenAI one's of course not going to work without an API key. You can see here if you're looking at the reason, like it made assumptions when we were building this out. It skipped some steps, and now we're paying for it. Oh, chat, this is frustrating. I mean, at this point too, it might also just be worth having another. Like usually, I'll start a new convo at this point once I feel like I'm going in loops with these bots. I just didn't really want to do that with this. So the nice part about this is at least the design that we're iterating to is going to let us be able to switch which in addition, just like the vision provider that we were talking about, not getting locked into Claude and being able to swap in OpenAI, we can do that same thing with the transcription provider, whatever library we're using for that. And so that's what it's doing now. It's going to let us run it locally or these other routes to try each of them. We're not going to go through all these because this is going to be more like plumbing, maybe a little bit more boring. I'm going to try to figure out how to get around the CDN issue. And then on the next live stream, I'll bring it to you guys. Like, okay, this is how we get around this. Because this is a bit of an unanticipated issue with it's just nuance with how, like, what's available and where you're running the skill. These skills, they can be moved around to any of these different providers, not specific to Claude, a skill file, a skill directory, skill folder. You can upload them to ChatGPT. You can upload them. You can run it on Claude's remote server on their computers, so that you can hit it from your phone, things like that, or you can run it locally so that only you can hit it. There's like a bunch of different ways to do it, and we're working through how to get it so that it's most changeable for us, fits our use case, and is flexible for us. It isn't flexible for Claude. So let's see what it did. That's why a new conversation. Okay. However, there's a sandbox config issue. You should look into this before testing again. You're always copying me. So this is a good first step to that. Now we have each of those two steps, transcription and vision, broken down, and we just need to figure out a way to get these to Claude to run these. So I'll tackle that before the next live stream and figure out how to get around that. But we got the essence of a very useful skill here. Once we figure out how to make it work both on Claude's remote sandbox environment and our local environment easily, this is going to be really useful in terms of a bunch of different video tasks. So we made some good progress towards that today. And I'm sorry that we didn't get to a finished state here with this. We ran into a couple issues, but we'll certainly come back to this. And I feel like I learned a little bit more about how these skills, the limitations of these skills and stuff. All right, Chad, thanks for joining in today. Appreciate you. We'll be back again either tomorrow or Friday, talking about AI, talking about tech, talking about products, how to turn your audience into products. So I appreciate you joining today. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the YouTube channel. Otherwise, I'll see you again tomorrow. All right, goodbye. Bye, Cloud.